In recent years, I've talked to a lot of people about GMOs, and one topic comes up quite a bit, and that's Roundup and the main ingredient in that, which is glyphosate. So many seeds are Roundup ready, so they're engineered to not be harmed when you dump this pesticide on there. Do we know enough about the glyphosate and what that does, not only to the plant that we later ingest, but any runoff that we ingest from that as well?
This is what some people think of as the most important question of all, because GMOs are designed, at least a large percentage of them are designed to withstand the spraying of glyphosate. So for those people who don't know what this means, it means if you can plant 1,000 acres of soybeans that are Roundup ready, that is, say, Roundup resistant, it means you can aerial spray 1,000 acres and the chemical will kill everything except for the soybean. That's the reason it's designed. So then you have the soybean now that is glyphosate resistant, it's been sprayed with glyphosate, and now you're going to eat it. So the question is not just whether the GMO is bad for you, but whether the glyphosate that has now been saturating the plant is bad for you. And for years, Monsanto, which was one of the companies that designed this, has said that there's no problem. This is that Roundup is a very benign herbicide, that it is way better than all the other herbicides that came before it. That's the way it has been marketed for a long time. And at some very specific level, that may be true. It may be true that glyphosate is more benign than atrazine, for example. But that's not to say it's benign. It just may be more benign. So what you have now are some international health organizations like the United Nations coming out and saying that glyphosate is a probable human carcinogen, which is a very serious designation. And of course, as soon as that story kind of started to unfold, the companies that make it came out and tried to destroy that research and say, as they do repeatedly, anything that gets in the way of their particular business model is instantly destroyed and considered to be fake or fraudulent or unconvincing. I'm not sure that point of view is accurate. So that's another thing. And then there's a third part of it, which is that we've used Roundup is by far the most common herbicide on the planet. We've used so much of it now that evolution being evolution, plants begin to adjust to this. So now you're starting to find what they're calling them super weeds, which are plants that you can spray with Roundup and they still don't die. Which means, of course, that people still want to kill weeds, so now they have to start using more toxic herbicides, which is going to mean that where Roundup was meant to replace all these toxic ones, now Roundup is in fact going to be kind of like a gateway to going back to more toxic things. So it seems like the lifespan of Roundup has lasted its 25 or 30 years and is now kind of losing its effectiveness, is now being kind of discredited as a, formally considered to be a benign thing. So now we're going to start all over again with using more and more toxic stuff. So the question about whether it's benign, I think, is becoming pretty well disputed.